Let us for a few minutes think of the Divine Lord and pray for the peace and prosperity of the whole humanity. Dehi Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma mujyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last two classes, we have discussed to a great length about purity. This topic is very important for all the spiritual aspirants. Sri Ramakrishna was answering the question put to him by a devotee, is it possible to see God? And Sri Ramakrishna's answer was very definite about what he was telling. Himself had seen God, so whatever he said must be very true. He said very clearly, God is unknowable by the mind engrossed in worldliness. One cannot attain God if one has even a trace of attachment to lust and gold. So, the truth has been given to us. What is it that prevents us to see God? It is kama, lust, and wealth, gold. People are running after the worldly activities. They are so busy because it's not for nothing, because they get money. It is not unreasonable to earn money. Never think that way. Only think is too much of involving your whole being in just trying to get more and more and more money, that is bad. There is no end. Even 24 hours a day is not sufficient for a person who hankers after money. He wants to become richer, more rich, most rich. Even then, if there is any possibility to become richer than that state, he wants to try even that. So, the mind is completely dragged in that direction. It's a terrible force. The other force is lustful desire to enjoy this external world. So these two forces are dragging the mind of a person far, far away from God. One can never even like to hear the name of God as long as one is engrossed in worldliness. But then Sri Ramakrishna again clarifies, then who can see him? Who can see God? Sri Ramakrishna answers, he is knowable by the pure mind and the pure intelligence. The mind and intelligence that have not the slightest trace of attachment. The practice of spiritual disciplines will make the mind pure and steady. On this topic we have dealt with in depth in last 2-3 classes. I am just concluding the topic today and go to next topic, which is very important for our spiritual life. About purity, all religions of the world agree. Purity is the one condition of spiritual illumination. Person must be pure if he had illumination. Without purity, one cannot have illumination. The spiritual disciplines enjoined by all different religions have only one end in view: to enable the aspirant to lead a pure life. All injunctions regarding self-restraint and self-control, they are all motivated by this ideal alone. There is personal God, there is impersonal God. The God of dualistic religions or the absolute of the Vedanta is the embodiment of purity. In truth, there is no sex, neither attachment nor taint is associated with truth. Therefore, those who aspire after it must be free from the ideas of sex or desire or attachment. Religion says to the one who is tired of the complexities of life, "Come unto me, all ye that are weary and heavy laden, and I shall give you rest. The same message is declared in the Bhagavad Gita. Give up all ideas of moral duty. Take refuge in me. I shall help you to reach the other shore of life. Then coming to Upanishads, the Vedanta, he who seeks the pure truth with single-minded devotion unto him alone, the Lord of truth reveals himself. The language may be different, but the message is the same. We must remove the veil of ignorance which conjures up before our vision the snare of the manifold and conceals our absolute nature, which is one with the entire universe. It is not God who makes us do evil deeds or refrain from virtuous ones. We are deluded about good and evil and caught in the net of the manifold simply because of our ignorance. When this ignorance is removed, we realize our innate divinity, which is eternally pure. That is the conclusion of the topic which I dealt with in last 2-3 classes regarding the purity in life. In order to achieve the goal, we must try to acquire purity. That's the point. Now I am going to next topic, which is also very important for us to know as spiritual aspirants. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Master says, he is very clear about what he says. Only we are not very honest in practicing it. That's the problem. Problem is here. If you are honest in doing practices, why not the result come? It should come. Here, Sri Ramakrishna is pointing out, one should do his worldly duties with only 25% of his mind, devoting the rest to God. What are we doing? The reverse. 75% we are devoting to world, 25%. Why 25%? 25% is also too much. Maybe a 1% or half a percent we are devoting towards God. But we want result immediately. What's happening? What's the use of coming to temple? What's the use of attending classes Tuesdays, Fridays? I'm not getting any upliftment. I'm simply in the same way as I am before. Reason is obvious. Your mind is not inclined towards the reality, towards the spiritual ideas. Simply talking in a superficial way will not give you any kind of clarification in spiritual matters. In order to clarify this point, Sri Ramakrishna told a story of a woman in the countryside. A woman belonging to a carpenter family. How does she do her job? She is preparing flattened rice. It's a particular kind of rice preparation. Using the husking machine. With one hand, she turns the paddy in the hole. And with the other, she holds a nursing child. At the same time, she talks with the buyer. Well, you will have to give me 50 cents paid before you go. All these transactions she's doing. With all that, 75% of the woman's mind is where? It is on her hand. Lest it should be crushed by the pestle of the husking machine. So with 25% she is transacting all these things, talking with the buyer and nursing the child. But 75% of the mind is on the hand, which is operating the machine. It is just like that. Because you are not devoting your 75% towards spirituality, you are being crushed. So, that's the point we should understand very thoroughly. He alone, again Sri Ramakrishna tells, who after reaching the Nitya, is a Sanskrit term meaning the absolute, can dwell in the Leela, means relative, and again climb from Leela to the Nitya, from relative to the absolute. One can do this very easily. He who does that has ripe knowledge. He has got ripe knowledge and devotion. Sages like Narad cherished love of God after attaining the knowledge of Brahman. This is called Vijnana. It's a special term which I am dealing in 2 or 3 classes hereafter, discussing about what is Jnana, what is Vijnana, what are these things. This is very important. Knowledge is a very comprehensive term, but the knowledge and knowledge. So what is knowledge in the ordinary sense? What is Vijnana, the super knowledge? We have to understand it thoroughly. Again, Sri Ramakrishna explains beautifully, mere dry knowledge is like an ordinary rocket. It bursts into a few sparks and then dies out. But the knowledge of sages like Narad, Shukdev, is like a good rocket. For a while it showers balls of different colors and then it stops. Again it throws out new balls and again it stops. And thus it goes on. Those sages had prem, that is love for God. Prem, love, is the rope by which one can reach Satchidananda. So, Sri Ramakrishna is dealing with the subject Jnana and Vijnana, knowledge and perfect knowledge. That means mind plays important role in achieving Vijnana, the perfect knowledge. We shall deal with that subject now, step by step. According to Western psychology, mind appears to exist in three states: conscious state, subconscious state, and unconscious state. The samskaras or impressions of past actions constitute mind. When some impressions are brought into life, while sense organs come in touch with the world, we call the mind conscious, because it becomes aware of the external object. The mind acquires knowledge of it. While doing this way, many impressions lie hidden in the periphery, awaiting their return to be aroused in the conscious plane. They remain just below the conscious level. It is called the subconscious. There is another state, unconscious. What does it mean? There are some impressions which exist with a very low potentiality. They can't be brought back to life even if attended with the sense organs. This sphere is unconscious. The difference between these three levels, conscious, subconscious and unconscious, is one of degree, not in kind. And the three phenomena can always be turned not together. When one aspect of mind is predominant, the other two are bound to keep their heads down. The three spheres of the mind are interpreted by the Hindu psychologists in a more clear way, keeping in view of the experiences of life. The conscious mind has been termed by the Hindu psychologists as Jagrat state, also called awakened state. Impressions are truly awakened when they function through the senses. They cannot work independently but are governed by the senses. Whatever the senses call, the impressions are bound to come into action. Secondly, the play of the subconscious mind has been called swapna state or dream state. Here, the impressions create their world of experience out of their own stuff without the aid of the senses. They are independent in action, but their very being is derived from the waking state. The third one, the unconscious state, that has been described by Hindu psychologists as sushupti or dreamless sleep. cases of swoon or a reverie, some fancy, they are also included into it. Herein, the impressions cease to act, for they get drowned in their cause. In the absence of any activity of the mind, it is aware neither of the physical nor mental. Besides these three popular states, besides these three which I just mentioned, these Hindu seers add a fourth state. There's one more state. What is that? It's called Turiya state. Turiya. It's a state of communion with God. In the Sushupti state, mind is drowned but not destroyed. It has potential power to come back to dream and then to waking state. In the fourth state, that is in Samadhi, all the impressions are burnt in the fire of knowledge. Here, God, the ever-present, omnipotent, alone remains. Mind meets death along with its cause. Now, there is another level which Sri Ramakrishna explains it beautifully. It is a fifth level, fifth state you can say. It's called Vijnana. All religions speak of liberation as a summum bonum of life, but a few mystics are concerned with a stage higher than that. A blessed life beyond mortal world is what the ordinary aspirants are concerned. But mystics enter deeper into the kingdom of bliss in this very life. Sri Ramakrishna's manifold spiritual realization is a unique contribution in the field of religious experience. His extraordinary power of mind, coupled with one-pointed devotion to spirituality, reveals that immense spiritual gems are lying still undiscovered in the ocean of the infinite. Even the scriptures which speak of the suprasensible world have, according to him, made out a surface view of the inexhaustible truth. Souls who remain merged in godly thoughts carry a message of the unknown in a more distinct way. Sri Ramakrishna speaks us of a state of realization called Vijnana. This is a completely different level of mind and superior to the four states mentioned before. Vijnana is the fifth level of mind, a state which is attained by the incarnations of God born in the world to fulfill a mission. Now, Jnani, who is Jnani? A knower of Brahman. By Vijnani, Sri Ramakrishna meant perfect knower of Brahman, as opposed to Jnani, knower of Brahman. There's difference between knower of Brahman and perfect knower of Brahman. The perfect knower of Brahman is called Vijnani. Sri Ramakrishna tells that. In a discussion with a disciple, Sri Ramakrishna tells in the Gospel, you must know there is a stage beyond even Brahma Jnana. There is a state, Sri Ramakrishna is telling. After Jnana comes Vijnana. A question arises here. What's the nature of Jnana that is spoken of here? Is it the absolute identity with Brahman? Sri Ramakrishna says, to know by one's inner experience that God exists is Jnana, just as the awareness and conviction that fire exists in wood is Jnana, knowledge. Anyway, we'll deal with the subject in more depth in the next class. So there is joy and joy, more joy. Everything leads to infinity. That's the beauty of Lord's glory. We shall continue the same topic in the next class. Page 576. Kedar and several devotees stood up. They were about to return home. Kedar saluted the master and bade him goodbye. Master said, should you go away without bidding other goodbye? Wouldn't that be an act of discourtesy? Kedar, when God is pleased, the world is pleased. You are staying, so in a sense we are all staying. I am not feeling well. Besides, I am a little nervous about my social conventions. Other belong to a lower caste. Kedar, a Brahmin, could not dine with him or eat at his home. Once before I had trouble with our community. Vijay, pointing to the master, said, should we go away and leave him here? Just then, other came in to take the master to the dining room, for the meal was ready. Sri Ramakrishna stood up and said, addressing Kedar and Vijay, come with me. They followed him and partook of the dinner together with the other devotees. After dinner, they all returned to the drawing room, where the devotees sat around the master. Kedar said to him with folded hands, please forgive me for hesitating to eat here. Perhaps the thought had come to his mind that he should not have hesitated, since the master himself had no scruples about eating at others' house. Kedar worked at Dhaka. Many devotees brought offerings of sweets and other food for him. Referring to this, Kedar said to the master, people want to give me food. What should I do? Lord, what's your command in this matter? Master said, one can eat food even from an untouchable if the untouchable is a devotee of God. That's very important. After spending 7 years in a God-intoxicated state at Dakshineshwar, I visited Kamarpakor. Oh, what a state of mind I was in at that time. Even a prostitute fed me with her own hands, but I can't allow that now. Kedar was about to take his leave. Kedar, in a low voice, said, Lord, please transmit power to me. Many people come to me. What do I know? Master said, everything will be all right. one gets along well if one is sincerely devoted to God. I shall stop here. So, any questions to ask? How many levels we have got? We have to examine in what level we are mostly stationed and how important it is to rise from one level to other level. Without rising, how can you expect any improvement in life? Improvement is possible only when you rise up, when you wake up properly. So, anyway, life is given to everyone so that each one can try independently without depending on anybody else. You have taken up the life not to destroy the life, but to fulfill. Destroying life means if the life is devoted towards the worldly things, your life is destroyed. On the other hand, if the life is turned towards spiritual ideas, then you are enriching your life and you get fulfillment in course of time. You have to have remarkable patience in spiritual life. As I said already, what is most important in spiritual life is to attain to purity level. Everything will come round. So concentrate upon what you are doing positively and try to see how much time you are able to devote yourself to spiritual ideas. That's important. You must be hankering after running towards God, just as you are hankering after running towards the world. Because world is a great attraction. I should not say the word attraction. From the spiritual point of view, it's a great distraction. So, you are in the gravity of the world. As long as you are in the gravity of the world, you are always under that pressure. You have to get out of that gravity, come to spiritual gravity. Once you come to the spiritual gravity, then you can never go down. It's impossible to go down afterwards. And you won't like to go down. That's also there. So, all these spiritual masters come and teach so that we understand spirituality in the proper way. Practice it. No more talking. No more traveling here and there, running all over the world, preaching religion. What religion you are preaching without practicing anything? Stupid. That's why it is as it is before. The beauty of religion is in your practice. Practice it where you are. Realize it. Then if you have got time and energy, preach. But before that could happen, don't poke your nose anywhere. It's blind leading the blind. You yourself don't know the religion and you are preaching religion. So very clearly our Vedanta tells that blind teaching the blind. Realize the truth first. Undergo rigorous discipline. Control yourself properly. Don't be hypocritical. Be sincere means not to be hypocritical. Be honest in your attempts. You will see how you will be joyful in that kind of life. It is very important. Everybody has to lead that kind of life. And he will lead, of course, if his aspiration is strong enough. I must see God. That's why Buddha could sit under the tree without reason. I won't get up. Come what may. That strong determination, willpower. He used all the resources at his command to achieve the goal. Then he got it. Then wherever he goes, whatever he sees, whatever he talks is a preaching. Even to see him is a joy, let alone talking with him. Even to see the saint of such caliber is a great, it's a purity by itself. By seeing, you become pure. So, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, practical spirituality. Do it, do it, do it. I have done it, you do it. That's the way of Sri Ramakrishna's telling. Not, I have not done, but you do it. No but there. If you have not done, you have no right to say, do it. First you must have done it. Then you have got the authority to say, do it. Without that, what? Everybody wants to become a guru. So, we are diluting because of not properly understanding and practicing spiritual life. Anyway, it's all right. We are all children of God. We have come. We will learn. Good. Keep your mind open to learn. Accept accept your weakness. Don't cover it up. No. Accept it. I am weak. Good. Then you can become strong. That's the point. Any question to ask? Everything is possible in the eyes of God. Anything is possible. Where there is a will, there is a way. That's all. It is not possible as long as you don't have strong aspiration. If you have strong aspiration towards spiritual goal, that will urge you to do the things in such a fashion, you will be able to pass through the eye of the needle. It's possible. But it requires lot of application, concentration, one-pointedness, dedication and devotion. All these things are equally important. Then it's possible. It is becoming impossible because we are in million ways we are dissipating our energy. So we don't have any strength at all, even to assert, even to think about spiritual idea. We are so weak. I can't sit even for 1 minute, I can't concentrate. I have degraded myself to such an extent. With that state of mind, how can you expect high, lofty ideals? So, strengthen yourself, that's important. Strengthening. You have to struggle to strengthen. Without going to gymnastics, you can't develop muscles. Just like that, spiritual life is also. You have to struggle, but it's worth struggling. If you go on involving more and more in the world, you become more and more weak. There is no question of becoming strong at all there. In so many ways, you are just being pulled down, and as I said, the husking machine example, you will be crushed. You are already in the process of crushing. Though you may not accept it. Because reality is not properly taken. But if you That's why I keep on telling, keep the mind open to understand the things as they are, and then you will understand how to improve. That's the way. Any more question? All right, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name, thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for that day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou, this who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied the whole universe feels satisfied.